Is that the
It looks like what she said was true.
She said she wasn't too good at lying after all.
To discover that the new technique you created was bad for the world, after what must have been years of research. I can't imagine how the person who created the Hermes technique must have felt.
Well, what if it had been you?
If I found out that it hurt the Earth, I would have to do something about it. But I wouldn't destroy the Blastia like that.
What the?
Nothing. If only things weren't so complicated. I could have just blasted her into oblivion and been done with it. Morning, Yuri.
Morning.
It's a beautiful morning, but even as we stand here, the air is out of balance, and our world may already be dying.
That's right.
Judy!
Well, look who's feeling better.
In the past, these slight fluctuations of the air have not negatively affected our world. There have always been beings who maintain the balance by sensing changes in the airflow. Beings like Pharaoh and Baul, the Entelekea.
So the Entelekea were responsible for keeping the air balanced.
For ages, the Entelekea have regulated the air. But the recent increase has been greater than they could control.
Which is being caused by the Hermes Blastia.
And which is also why you were going around taking down as many of them as you could.
Yes, that was my mission. The path I walk with Baul, to whom I owe my life.
The path you walk.
Now some would even hunt the Entelekea for Apatheia. This has made the mission of the Entelekea even more difficult.
Why is everybody so crazy about these Apatheia anyway?
I'm afraid I don't have an answer. The air an Entelekea absorbs becomes condensed within its body over time. When its life is at an end, that condensed air forms a crystal, an Apatheia. That's all I know. I imagine Pharaoh could shed more light on the subject, though.
So Apatheia are crystals of concentrated air. If that's true and the energy could be extracted from the Apatheia, it would be a source of overwhelming power, I'm sure.
Could we really do that?
I don't know.
But if that's possible, there must be tons of guys who want those things.
I bet somebody wants to use these things for the wrong reasons.
Why didn't you just tell us all this from the beginning?
Seriously, we could have avoided all this trouble if you just talked to us. Am I wrong?
Even if you had known, there are things not even you could have prevented.
What do you mean?
I showed up at Heliord because Baul had sensed a disturbance in the air. Where there was a disturbance, there was sure to be a Hermes Blastia. But what I found there was not a Blastia, it was a person. That had never happened before.
So it wasn't like you were looking for Estelle in particular back at Heliord.
Yet for some reason, Baul perceived Estelle as a disturbance in the air. I had to find out why. For the sake of the path I've chosen. It was at that time that Pharaoh first appeared. He seemed to have some idea who Estelle was. My mission was to destroy all the Hermes Blastia. However, Estelle was obviously not a Blastia. I needed to make absolutely certain. I made a deal with Pharaoh, and he agreed to grant me some time.
You mean...
If it became apparent that her existence posed too great a threat, then I would kill her.
You what?
Wait! Rita!
Settle down. Obviously, Judith reached a different conclusion.
All right, I get it.
Belius said you possess a heart of compassion. If you can communicate that to Pharaoh somehow, you may learn what you should do.
Hey, there's no real reason for you to fight Pharaoh anymore, right? I mean, we know the Hermes Blasti are what's causing the problem and everything. If we just make sure the Apatheia don't fall into the wrong hands...
I still want to meet Pharaoh. I want to hear what he has to tell me.
But...
Please try to understand. I have to know more about myself, and take responsibility for who I am.
All right.
Sorry, Yuri. I don't think we can decide what to do about Judith right away.
I promise not to leave again until things have been settled, as you said. I need to accept that responsibility myself.
Let's go and find Pharaoh. We'll finally be getting around to one of the first things we set out to do. We can work out the rest once this is finished.
There is a rocky crag in the center of the sands of Kogor. That is where Pharaoh lives. Baul can take us there.
Okay, let's go. This meeting's been a long time coming.
I can communicate with Baul, but there are still a few things you should know.
Like what?
Baul can only land on the ground in wide, open spaces, so you won't be able to dismount on steep mountain ranges or in narrow canyons.
Can't he land on water?
Water's no good either.
Really? He looks like he'd be a good swimmer.
Yeah, he'd sink like a rock.
Huh. Who knew?
But that's why we have a ship, right?
Right. If you'd like to get down onto the ocean, let me know. Baul will set our ship down there for us.
Okay, but what should we do when we want to fly again?
Use Baul's horn to call him to you.
Bowels. That's all there is to it?
Every Intellikeia has a special region in its brain that can be used for communication with a special power Critians possess.
Huh. So we can get a hold of him by using that.
Right.
Judith, you're familiar with Pharaoh, aren't you?
Is he really as scary as he seems?
Well, let's see. Sometimes he's logical, sometimes he's emotional. He can be really scary or really kind.
All right, that didn't help very much.
One thing's certain, his power's extraordinary, even among the Intellikeia.
Here's hoping we don't wind up looking like poor old Mount Temsa the moment we meet him.
If he can do that to a mountain, there wouldn't be anything left if he turned on us.
I wish you wouldn't joke about scary things like that.
Why should we get scared before we even get there? Especially if he's that strong.
Wish I could take it as lightly as you and Yuri.
I never imagined you'd be able to speak with the Entelekea.
Well, I use a Critian technique to do it. Wait, do I detect a little jealousy?
Maybe. Right, Rapide?
Yuri, you want to talk to Rapide?
I think the two of you understand each other well enough already.
I got him pretty well figured out, but I don't know if he understands me.
I think he feels the same way.
Pharaoh, Belius, Baul? What sort of beings are Entelekea anyway?
They are the oldest intelligent life forms on Terraluminares.
So, they aren't monsters?
They aren't. It's said that they have a higher level of awareness than humans, though they don't have a civilization.
Shiver me timbers! The Entelekea were smart!
The reports we get from Baul are pretty accurate.
He's a smart boy.
So this is where Pharaoh is?
Should be. I wasn't able to see him when we came to the desert, but I think this is where we can meet him.
I hope nothing bad will happen. What if he suddenly attacks us?
I can't make any guarantees. I don't think we'll have a say in the matter.
That just means we need to do our best so nothing bad happens.
Carol, are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. I should go.
Pharaoh sure did pick a bleak place to live in, don't you think?
They say this area used to be covered in lush greenery.
Why did it turn into this rocky desert?
I don't know that much.
Estelle, are you really going to meet him? Even though you could be killed?
Yes, I've already made peace with this decision.
Rita, you've been acting a little funny ever since hearing Judy's story on the ship. Do you have a problem with meeting Pharaoh?
I just think it'll be hard on her to hear what he has to say. But it's too late to turn back now. We've come this far after all.
Well, he doesn't seem to be here. Maybe he's off somewhere taking a nap.
Pharaoh, you are here, aren't you?
Insipid poison, you appear before me at last.
So you are here. Is that how you greet all your guests, Pharaoh? By calling them names?
For what reason have you come to me? Surely you are aware that I could end your existence with a mere thought.
You talk pretty big, don't you? Well, if you really want to fight, I'd hate to disappoint you.
Yuri, no! Everyone, please wait!
Estelle!
Pharaoh, please hear what I have to say.
Does death hold no fear for you, little one? For you gaze now into the mouth of death itself.
I am afraid, but I'm even more afraid of dying without knowing who I really am. Belius told me I needed to meet you to learn about my destiny. I have to know just what that destiny is. I understand that I am a threat to the Entelekea, but you said that I am a poison to this world. What is this power I have? Just who is the child of the full moon? If it is true that my existence cannot be tolerated, then it's okay if I have to die. But I at least deserve to know why it is I have to die. Please tell me, I beg of you.
There was a time when this was a verdant land, sheltered by the blessing of an air crene.
So there was an air crene here.
But what happened? Why did it change?
What you see are the results of too much air and its aftermath. As to why the air ran rampant, the answer lies with the poison brought by the child of the full moon.
Huh?
The power of the child of the full moon stimulates the air crene more than any Blastia.
Huh?
Blastia convert air into energy by way of a formula. So if Estelle can use her healing arts without the aid of any Blastia, she must possess a formula in her very being that lets her convert air into energy. Judith was searching for Blastia that used a particular kind of formula. So, this special formula Estelle has must also consume massive amounts of air, which causes the air crene to become more active and pump out more air than they should. I had hoped my hypothesis would have been wrong.
Then
It is as she has said. With each use of her power, the child of the full moon uses far more air than the Blastia. In so doing, the imbalance of air in this world is furthered. For the planet, such an existence can only be called a poison.
So you just wipe it out then? Little quick to judge, aren't you, Pharaoh?
This problem concerns the entire planet, and she is its cause. To do nothing would be unparalleled folly.
If the problem's with Estelle, then it's for us to solve.
That's right. We can't let anyone else handle it.
The gravity of this situation is beyond your grasp.
You don't honestly think that everything's gonna be all sunshine and rainbows if Estelle dies, do you?
It would at least eliminate one problem.
Pharaoh, at Heliord I stopped myself, and again at Dawngrest I stopped you. What I thought was a Blastia turned out to be a human. Before I realized it, I had lost my way. I never thought this child could be as great a danger as you had said.
And due to your confusion, I granted you the time necessary to see things as they are. As a result, my sister Belius is now lost to me. Enough. This power will bring only ruin.
Not sure I understand all this, but if her power's the problem, why can't she just not use it?
There can be no guarantee she will not try to use the power.
That's true. She does have trouble turning a blind eye to things happening around her. Someday she will surely use her power to help someone. However, as long as she keeps that spirit of compassion, she cannot only be seen as harmful. She is not like a Blastia. I know that you can feel the difference.
Compassion alone will not save this world.
Listen, Pharaoh, I get that you've thought all this through with everybody's best interest in mind. But why doesn't that world have a place for Estelle?
It is sometimes necessary to remove a part to save the whole.
I don't buy that for a second. What makes you so high and mighty that you're the one to decide who gets cut and who doesn't?
We have endured the anxiety of existence for far greater a span than you can conceive. Such words mean nothing from those who call this world home for but a fleeting moment.
Pharaoh, please, listen. The important thing is finding a way to stop the excessive air, correct? We still have time left to search for such a thing.
Judith.
And if the effects of Estelle's power reach their absolute limit, I will kill her as promised. You should have no complaint with this.
Hey, Judith, are you serious?
I'm sure brave Vesperia will come up with something before that happens, right?
What? Yeah, of course we will.
Well, score one for Judith. So that settles it. If we humans are to blame for Estelle's problem in bringing on the apocalypse, then it's up to us to make things right. If we give it all we've got and still blow it, then you can slow roast us on a grill for all I care.
You have changed. If you were still as before.
Have I? That is nice to hear.
Very well. Be ever mindful, though, that time is fleeting.
Wait! If the formulas are causing the excessive air, then there must have been times when this happened in the past. I mean, the Blastia were a product of an ancient civilization.
There exist those who have inherited the sins of the past. If any yet can speak of what occurred in the days of old, it is they.
He's gone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for everything, Yuri. Judith, you too.
No problem. But hey,
What?
it's okay if I have to die? What the hell was that?
I'm sorry.
I don't want to hear that again.
I'm sorry.
Man, really worried there for a while.
We were pretty lucky that bruiser was in a mood for conversation. Poor Raven's heart can't handle that sort of stuff anymore.
You're pretty gutless for an old man.
Geez, Patty, you've really got nerves of steel.
If he really wanted to kill Estelle, he'd have attacked us immediately. And that's what I can't figure out.
I imagine Pharaoh was conflicted as well. He hid himself from us in the desert to see just what we were made of.
Huh. Maybe he wasn't as bad as we thought after all.
You might be right. I get the feeling he'd do whatever's necessary when push comes to shove.
That sounds like you.
Maybe.
But what are we gonna do, Yuri? You heard what he said.
We're going to fix the problems the air's causing, and that's all.
That's easier said than done. We're pretty much at square one, you know.
Mm-hmm. And no one wants to be at square one.
There's no doubt that the formulas are related somehow to the air getting used up. We need to find out about the ancient Blastia, and if they went berserk or not. If we had that kind of information, it might give us a clue.
Ask those who have inherited the sins of the past about the days of old. Or at least that's what Pharaoh said.
The Kritia were the ones to invent the Blastia. In other words, we need to ask a Kritian who is still familiar with the old stories.
Yeah, the Kritia are often credited as the inventors of the Blastia.
There isn't much left of the Kritian city of Timza, though.
It'd be a lot easier if there were more cities.
The hidden city of Miorzo. It is far older than Temza, and the birthplace of the Kritia. The first Blastia also originated there.
Really? Well, what do you know? You wouldn't happen to know where this Miorzo might be, would you, darling?
I've heard that name somewhere. There was a Kritian in Ospio. I'm sure they mentioned something about it.
Do you think that person might still be there?
Well, there's no harm in checking it out.
Judith, are you coming with us?
I should. We still have the issue of the guild to straighten out.
So, to Ospio then.
All that stuff about the balance of the world is pretty hard to take in.
Yeah, I hadn't even been outside the capital until just a while ago myself. And now we're here talking about the fate of the world. You never know what life will bring you.
But isn't that what makes it interesting?
I don't think we can afford to be that relaxed anymore. Estelle doesn't have much time left.
What's the harm? It's not as if acting all serious is gonna solve anything.
Besides, Estelle will notice if we look all worried.
Well, maybe so, but...
We won't forget what Pharaoh said. Relax.
I know, it's just...
Estelle's got it the worst. If we get too down about this, we won't be much help to her.